Hey there, Rachel Cook here, founder of the Yogipreneur and your host for Yogipreneur TV. I'm excited to bring a new season of inspiring interviews, talking with some of my favorite yogipreneurs about what it really takes to get a yoga business or a heart-centered business going in a way that really feels good to you. So I'm really excited today to have my dear friend Anna Jelley of Curvy Yoga. Anna has become a really well-known blogger and really mouthpiece for yoga in the entire world out there, being mentioned on blogs like Yoga Journal, Yoga International, and even some bigger websites and news sites around the world. So I'm really excited to bring Anna on today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Well, one of the things that I want to talk with Anna about today, and you guys know I've interviewed Anna before, and there's a question that I get in my inbox all the time, and that is, what niche do I focus in on? You hear that you should pick a niche for what you're doing in your business, and it can be kind of confusing figuring out what direction to go if you're going to narrow your business focus down. And Anna has done an amazing job with her business and brand, Curvy Yoga. And Anna, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about the process you went through to figure out who you were going to be talking to.
Sure. When I first started teaching yoga, I also had that sort of buffet of choices in front of me. So who am I going to teach and what is that going to look like? And honestly, when I started, I knew that I wanted to teach something like Curvy Yoga. I didn't even have the name at the time, but I was also like, I could also teach beginners and yin and hatha, like I was just thinking I would kind of have a little smorgasbord. And then as I started really thinking about what am I best able to express as a teacher, Curvy Yoga just kept kind of ringing my bell, so to speak. And then as I continued through the process, I was just like, oh, I'm going to focus all of my time and attention on Curvy Yoga and really grow one thing rather than sort of smallishly grow a lot of different things.
I think this is really important and a huge takeaway because, like you said, a lot of teachers think, well, I can teach all of these things, so I'm going to teach all of these things. And as a result, I think it ends up really limiting not only how big you can grow, but it really prevents you from becoming kind of the go-to person.
Yeah, I was just thinking as you said that of course you could teach all those things. I could start doing that now, but it's not really what's in my sort of, in my dharma almost, like what I'm, I think, most here to teach.
I love that. I love that. So it's been several years since you started your blog. And
almost four.
Almost four. And it's been almost 2 years this year since you really made it your full-time gig.
Yes.
Which is super exciting. And I think this is important too. This is another takeaway I think a lot of heart-centered entrepreneurs, passionpreneurs, yogis, whatever, people who are trying to turn their passion into their business. Something you've done really elegantly has been getting really focused on one thing and sticking with it.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you share a little bit about that because I think a lot of people feel like if it doesn't happen instantly, I should hop on to the next thing.
Right. Yeah, for me, it's grown very organically. And I think, honestly, that's the only way. When I first started, it was just a blog. I didn't make any money off of it. And then I really listened to the blog readers and responded to people's requests that were coming in. And that allowed me to grow alongside the community so that I was offering things that they wanted. And I was also offering things that in my own progression as a teacher and a writer and the ways that I was thinking about Curvy Yoga could kind of go along simultaneously. It didn't feel like either side was forced. So I feel like it has to have that time to kind of percolate for everyone involved.
I think that's really important. And it's interesting because often as entrepreneurs, as people with a lot of interests, it's easy to get kind of pulled away with all of these ideas. Right. How do you keep coming back to staying focused on Curvy Yoga? Because there has to be a point, right, where you're just like, God, I don't want to write about this anymore. And I think that's what people are worried about, that like, I'm going to get burned out just talking about this. Yeah. How do you keep that going?
I think a couple of different things. So one is just staying engaged with the community. So people ask questions in a slightly different way, and it makes me think about the material that I'm either teaching in person or writing about in a different way. Because for sure, there are days that I'm like, how could I possibly say anything else about body acceptance and yoga? Like, I've been talking about that for so long. Another thing is a little piece of advice I heard when I first started blogging, which was that people don't really get your message until you yourself are really tired of talking about it. So just like it takes a lot of repetition for people to sort of understand, because they're like popping onto your website or popping into a weekly class, and it takes a while to really get the resonance. So that made me persist in knowing that it was going to take time for other people to get it, as well as for me to continue to hone my message, which has shifted and evolved and deepened over the years. And I know that I didn't know what my students wanted and needed in the same way that I do now 4 years ago. And I think the same will be true 4 years from now.
I think that's really important. And I want to kind of tease that apart a little bit, because something you said there made me think, we pick a niche or area we want to focus on, and we start thinking it's going to be one thing, but it often evolves to a bigger, deeper, more personal mission that you end up on. So I know that for Curvy Yoga, you really started like, okay, I just want to practice where I know how to move my body safely. And then now it's become body acceptance and this really empowering, deeper message.
Yeah. Yeah, and it also started, I thought, only with curvy-bodied people. Yeah. And then I've really had students of all shapes and sizes express interest and share similarities in experience and feeling disconnected from the body. So that was a big learning moment for me. Like, oh, there's a lot more people who are interested in this than I expected. I also never planned to do teacher training. I never planned to do this full time. I mean, if I hadn't stayed with it, I don't think I'd be where I am today, and I love where I am today.
I adore that. Great. This is so juicy for people who I think might have been hesitant to really pour themselves into one specific niche. So another thing you just landed on was people you didn't think would be attracted to it are attracted to it. Can you talk about this? Because I think with a lot of yogis, there's a fear that if we narrow down too much, we're not serving enough people, like we're not reaching enough people. But I think there's a actual difference there in what we're thinking and what's true.
Yeah, I mean, I personally find the opposite to be true. I find that the more I focus in on my niche and the clearer I become about my message, the easier it is for people to understand what it is and to be like, yes, I want to be a part of this. So with Curvy Yoga, like I said, I thought it would only be for bigger bodied people like myself. And what I found is that when I just clearly express my message, then anyone who resonates with it can come to class or can come to the website or whatever the case may be. And then it's sort of up to them if they want to connect with it. Like, I don't exclude anyone, even while I'm in a very narrow, seemingly niche.
I think that's awesome. So some great takeaways here, guys. Follow what you need, be organic about it, let it evolve, it'll get deeper, which is beautiful, and the more clear you get about your message and your mission, the more you're likely to attract even more people, even though it seems very counterintuitive.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that. And I'm so excited to have you in our upcoming retreat to really dive in and help people get real hands-on and practical about how they can find their niche in their yoga market.
Me too. Can't wait.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Anna, for diving in with me. I hope everybody had some great takeaways, and make sure you head over to curvyyoga.com. Anna's got amazing resources, an incredible blog, and a fantastic community to tap into.
Thank you.
All right. Until next time, see you soon. Ready to be inspired in your biz? Get weekly lessons to live in your business sweet spot, plus exclusive content that I only share via email. Sign up for updates at theyogipreneur.com.